Today is March 8th, 2026, and this is my weekly review for futures price action. Yeah. Okay, so Monday overview. Monday opened up with a 300-point gap due to the geopolitical news, um, hella war news and shit. During Asia and going into London, we distribute down while forming low resistance liquidity. London reverses the micro hidden and distributes higher going into New York. New York Open immediately distributes higher with 300-point 50-minute candle, targeting relative equal highs from previous Friday with no sequential S&P. All right, let's go over this real quick. Okay, so as we can see, overall, last week we're distributing down. Going into this Monday, we have, well, yes, on Friday, we pretty much accumulated. We have, true day open, relative equal highs, with no sequential S&P, which was a pretty obvious draw. And we have this big ass gap, right? Big ass end log, and we don't fill it all the way. We have some liquidity here, all that. Anyways, going into the day, what do? Well, what happens is during London, we come down and we engineer liquidity below this, right above this, just internal structure low. It's not time based, but it's just uh, the low of 2 weeks ago. So the low of Tuesday 17th. And then we start distributing higher. Now, going into New York, what do? Well, we just play here. Oh shit. We start accumulating. Sorry. We start accumulating. Um, and then right at New York Open. Okay, yeah, we form. If we look on YM here, let's go back here. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, yeah. So going into New York Open, we come up and we immediately distribute down. While on NQ, we have a 5 minute that is 240-point candle in 5 minutes. So we immediately aggressively distribute higher, and then YM comes down and puts in 90 hidden and micro hidden. Once we do that, we just start distributing higher, and then after that big ass candle, we just chop. So no really trades were valid today on this day. There wasn't much you could have done. We come back up, take the relative equal highs, we cycle micro, and then yeah, we're done with that day. Now, Monday's done. Tuesday. Tuesday open created bullish devil's mark, but the previous holiday had weekly cycle micro. Overnight we distribute down with 600 points, with no retrace. Rebalancing the range. New York Open manipulates current day low before reversing with no sequential S&P and targeting EQ of the overnight range. You can see that here. So what happens? Well, we come up, we create weekly cycle, we create micro, and then this is the open right here. 6 o'clock open. We have no manipulation higher. Now, with devil's marks, not every devil's mark is valid, as we'll see later in the week. But um, as we can see, literally a few hours before, we form weekly cycle and we form micro. So like 3 hours before we form weekly cycle and micro, and we take this liquidity, right? It's a very obvious draw. So we have that, and then we start immediately distributing down. So on this day, we can pretty much validate that this is not going to hold, okay? Or this is not going to be really referenced because it doesn't align with current structure. Like, okay, if we had came up, maybe not taken this, maybe not formed any sequential S&P, and then started distributing lower, then yeah, it would be valid. But since we had this big distribution higher and we come back down, it's valid that this was the manipulation. We're not going to need any manipulation for this day to go lower, right? Well, anyways, we distribute 600 points lower, basically, overnight. And Here, let me just turn this on. It should be 600 points lower, and then coming into New York, what do we do? Well, we took out these relative equal high lows, and then we basically just take out relative equal lows from yesterday, come up, resoup, and we form no sequential SMT here. Literally none. I don't know if maybe we had normal SMT. Shit. Nope. Nope. Yeah, so no SMT, no sequential SMT. We just take that and reverse higher. Now why did we reverse with no sequential? Well, look at this. Or why did we reverse at all? Why didn't we just keep distributing lower? First of all, we have to understand our context and higher time frame, right? Monthly open, this is just we are expecting us to probably during this time we can not expect, but we have in the back of minds that we may just accumulate this entire week since it's the monthly Power of 3 opening. And so yeah, basically with that in mind, when we retrace higher, it's not necessarily accumulation, but it can be expected, right? We also have a 600 point overnight range. If we were to distribute lower, I mean it's not necessarily unbalanced on the weekly, but on the daily, 600 points with no rebalance, and then we continue lower. Well, we were very close. I mean, we were only about 113 points away. So obviously, we were just engineering basically more liquidity down here for high resistance because it looks like it's pretty high resistance. Anyways, we come back up into EQ. What's the reasoning for this? Well, 600 point overnight range, possibility to accumulate. We have a Devil's Mark 2, which we basically don't take as valid for being filled in this day. And we're not technically supposed to reference Devil's Marks in following Power of 3s, but here it just made for such an obvious draw on liquidity. Streak open, past day high for the next day. So we don't reference this in this day, so we don't fill it in this day, obviously. That would not be logical, going 600 points down and coming 600 points up. But we rebalance the range. We resweep this, so turtle sweep this, come back up, and now, yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's see what we have. Manipulate, yeah. It's really, oh, shit. But yeah, there's really nothing that important about this. All right, next day. Or not, I mean, there's not really. Sorry, I'm pretty ass at presenting, to be honest. But there's nothing else that was really significant going on. Now, going into Wednesday, what do we see? Well, going into Wednesday, we were presented a classic open low high close. That distribution lower had no. It wasn't really like it was technically not really manipulation, just like lower accumulation. But it was an open low high close pretty much. But we had no sequential SMT. So I'll show you on the chart. But no sequential SMTs supporting current day low. New York AM forms 90-minute and continues the trend higher to past day high and week open, then creating weekly cycle doubling and daily cycle at the end of the day, with the next day as well. Okay. Now what does Wednesday look like? Well, first of all, I didn't mention this, but going into Wednesday, we have an hour order block. This could wait, I didn't even check. No. Okay, going into Wednesday, we have an hourly order block and a fair value gap. So Wednesday, what happens? We open up here, and we immediately start just distributing lower. No real manipulation higher. So we distribute lower, mitigate this hourly fair value gap and order block under the true day open with no sequential S&P and then go higher. Now, what is the obvious reason that we reverse again with no sequential S&P? Well, we're just creating engineered liquidity. Obviously, it's not very engineered because it's not close, or it's not like relatively equal. But within this volatility, it's pretty much going to probably be taken in one fell swoop. Anyways, we do that under true day open, then we reverse and draw higher in London with this huge distribution range. I actually didn't check this, but no, so we don't rebalance it. You may have rebalanced it on no check what the we may have rebalanced it on a different indice. So yeah, we did here. YM rebalances it. Rebalances our overnight range, and we're distributing higher. Now, what's the? I actually took a loss on this day, so I want to go over this. What do we have going into market open? Well, we're accumulating. We have no sequential S&P below us. We're in premium of our weekly range of our so far daily range. That's not the daily range, but we're in premium, right? So we're technically looking for shorts. This open is weird. So we immediately come up, take out these highs. What are we doing when we're taking out these highs? We're taking out stops and we're activating limits. So we activate buy limits. Then what do we do? Well, we come back down and we take out the lows here before 90 minute with the YM, and we take out the people who bought here, and then we take out stops down here as well. So we had basically this is what ICT shows in his 2022, where it looks like this. It's basically just like the best way. It's like the highest probability liquidity sweep, I guess. So it's like this: we have accumulation, we come higher, take out stops, activate limits, come lower, take out the limits that were up here is the stops here, and then we distribute higher like that. That basically just happens here. We form 90 minute, we form micro cycle with YM, and then we start distributing higher. Also, in terms of power 3, what do we see? 30-minute opens, come up, we come back down. We're immediately accumulating until 10. 10 opens, we have a this is a data actually. Pretty sure we had news on this day. But anyways, we come down. I think we have swing divergence, but here this 10 a.m. the purpose of 10 a.m. it wasn't to reverse. It wasn't to reverse, So we didn't need to see us come all the way down and come back up. This was a reversal here, not this. This was 10 a.m. was meant to distribute, not reverse. So we have our reversal here, and then we have our distribution here. So we have a slight manipulation down. I think we had 5 minute here, 5 minute swing divergence here, and we immediately distribute to our Devil's Mark, Sharik Open, and then we are going higher into this. Going higher back into this. This is technically just relative equal highs as well. So we can just draw that out here. But yeah, we come out, take that out, and then end the day off with weekly cycle with this or this here. And yeah, pretty much what Tuesday did. Okay, now Thursday. Going into New York on Thursday, we pretty much accumulated the entire day with London high and low being unmitigated, both with no sequential S&P. In pre-market, price forms daily cycle and micro at the lows and distributing lower to London high, forming daily cycle 90 micro and then back down to previous day EQ. Okay. So what happens? Okay, so we come up Tuesday, right? Form weekly cycle, but then going into or here's our daily open. Our daily open immediately manipulates higher, and we put in daily cycle from Q4 to Q1, and we put in weekly cycle from this weekly high or this daily high into Tuesday high to Wednesday high. We're also mitigating a 4-hour balanced price range, and then we distribute lower. Right, we distribute lower. Now in this distribution lower, what do we get? Well, in Asia we distribute around 200 points lower, chop, 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 and then coming into London, we immediately come back up. We would have a fractal here. I don't know how to use. I don't never use fractals, but I think it's 15 to. So we'd have a 4-hour fractal here. I think it would be like this. I don't have. I haven't watched any of the videos. but this is just what I've got from like watching Fear's videos and shit. So I think this is it. So we tap into, it's just, I think this is fractal. Tap into the fractal and reverse with no. Also, we have an internal liquidity raid. We have a 15-minute SIBI that we respect pretty much. And then we reverse with no sequential SMT. So we have no SSMT here, and this is London high. So we reverse with no sequential SMT, and it's a time-based high. This is significant. Oh. No SMT. And this is time-based high, so it's significant. So London reverses, right? We come down, and then going into pre-market, what do we get? Well, all three indices take out London low right here. But we form daily cycle hidden right here from Q2 to Q3. We form daily cycle hidden, and then we distribute higher into this no sequential SMT London high right here. Now this is tricky because we immediately expanded at 930, so we actually had a bearish doubles mark, which did get filled in the later power of 3. But at this time, even though our draw wasn't necessary, or my draw at least wasn't necessarily London high, it was true day open. We still, and I thought that we had a bearish doubles mark, right? Because it fit higher time frame institutional order flow, it fit with the Thursday reversal. But why it didn't matter is because we had daily cycle and we had micro. We had micro hidden as well coming into this. And so we immediately distribute higher. And we could, and within this 30-minute power 3, and then we close right like this, creating daily cycle 90 in micro. And we distribute lower within 10 a.m. And it overall, we overall draw to EQ of the previous day range right here. Okay. So yeah. Friday. Oh wait, no. Yeah. Friday. Friday presents us with another star classic. I'll show you why it's not classic. Open high, low close with daily cycle hidden and 90-minute hidden at our high of day. Don't mind the micro, I was wrong. London kill zone and New York pre-market created a large unbalanced range with an NFP distributing 250 points lower. Therefore, New York forms micro distributes to the NFP high, EQ range, blah 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 blah. Right? Let's take a look at the actual price action. I'm just turning. I don't really need to reference this very much. I never actually checked for. Okay, so we come to N again, dog. And this as well, which made it even more high probability. Came into 2-day open. We were above true. Okay, yeah. Alright, so what happens? Well, we open up, right? Our day opens up, and we immediately distribute higher. We have no sequential S&P with previous day low or anything yet. And so we distribute higher immediately. What's wrong with this? Well, this is not manipulation. It's just accumulation, right? It's literally just upwards accumulation. So we this is not really true manipulation, but since we formed daily cycle hidden, I think we had micro and then hidden 90. I know we had hidden 90 in daily cycle. But we formed all these sequential SMPs along with delivering from weekly cycle doubling, daily cycle, 90-minute micro. It was pretty obvious that this was just manipulation and we were going to continue lower. Well, London and New York. Oh, come on. Oh, wait, I turned it on. So, we do. Well, we're also above True Day Open and Drake Open, by the way. So we just immediately just start distributing lower. We take out PDL. We come down into. We had in. Wait, where was our? Oh yeah, it was a True Day Open from the previous day was our time-based draw. And so we engineer liquidity. We don't actually tap into it. We come right above it. Okay. Come right above it. After. Okay, sorry, I got ahead of myself. Let me restart. Distributing lower, 830. what do we get? Well, this is NFP. So we have a data high right here. Okay, so this is NFP. What does NFP do? Wicks up into this gap and distributes lower immediately, targeting true day open or time-based POI, and then these no sequential S&P lows. Going into New York, what do? Well, we don't actually take those out. We form microcycle and we distribute higher. Why did we distribute higher instead of going lower? Now, a lot of people, myself included, thought we were just going to continue lower. With all this bearish pressure, our bearish open low, high low close, we were potentially creating a bearish weekly candle, you know. But we have to reference two things. First of all, our weekly is very accumulative. Like, look at this. We didn't do shit on the weekly except accumulate. Therefore, price action on the lower time frame is going to be generally accumulative as well, like Thursday, like this, all this shit. Second off, we have a daily imbalance range above us. So this unbalanced range with EQ, daily imbalance range above us. Now, my thought process initially was, well, our weekly range is in a balance, so we're probably just going to distribute lower. What have we seen every single time this week that our weekly range has been unbalanced? We filled it. Weekly range okay, when the daily cycle or the daily range is unbalanced, but the weekly is balanced. Okay, right here, our weekly range is balanced, but our daily range is unbalanced. Fill it. Right here, our weekly range is balanced, our daily range is unbalanced. Or our previous day range is unbalanced. Take it. Oh no, technically, okay, that does not count. But we did it one time, okay? And then coming to this day, we have equilibrium, data high, and yeah, we just distribute higher and come back down. What was like the kind of our thought process? It should have been higher before lower. It's pretty much what we did. I mean, we also had a 500-point range, so it was kind of that's why we came back that pretty much. But yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna publish this. He was kind of ass, but yeah. Suggestions. If you have any criticism, suggestion, or advice in general, please reach out. If I didn't cover anything and you think I should have covered it, let me know. Yeah, thanks for watching. If I send this.